Welcome to the Mountain Dude Podcast, brought to you by Initial Ascent, where we share stories of grit, determination, and the relentless pursuit of growth. This is a space where backcountry hunting meets the deeper lessons of life. Success born from struggle, and the art of carrying heavy loads more comfortably, both physically and metaphorically, through faith and perseverance. Join us as we explore the paths that shape us, celebrate victories big and small, and fuel our journey with hope and tenacity. This is the Mountain Dude Podcast, where we climb higher together.
Very helpful for me to get it done, but I'm on Spotify, so I load that. I have to load that. That's separate because I do the video version on Spotify, so I have to do that, to do the audio version, and then I do the video version on YouTube. I do 5 reels a week. They run 1 reel every day, and then the show. I mean, so about 2.5 days, 2 days a week.
Yeah,
it's a job.
It is a job.
And like this week, I literally upload that show from the hotel the morning on Monday morning, and they publish on 10 o'clock. So I'm running it to the freaking wire.
11th hour.
So anyway, I'm just not that good at it, right? And
it'll get easier though.
Well, and what's weird is I'm doing this, I'm doing this weekly thing, and I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do anything under 20 minutes. That's been the biggest thing for me, is writing this thing, and it's kind of newsy. I kind of make it kind of news oriented, so it's a little bit different than everything else. I didn't want to be just another, you guys there's some good stuff out there. I don't need to compete with that. And, but man, it's hard to keep it under 20 minutes.
We struggle to keep it under an hour.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not built for that. I'm long form. And so I'm learning to be a little more direct. I'm getting better at it. But the problem is, the better you get, the more you expect from yourself too. Like, I watch it and I'm like, I got to go back and work on that edit. I don't like that transition. I don't like that graphic. I don't like that sound. I don't like that video looks a little weird, or the focus was a little off, or, so I'm becoming my worst nightmare,
critic,
right?
Yeah.
Because I'm critical of my stuff.
Yeah.
And so anyway.
Yeah, and most of the time, the audience,
they don't notice
has
it.
no clue.
And you notice it, though, when you notice every little bump in the
Absolutely.
road, right?
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll be counting how many times you say something. Trust me.
Oh, so that's the thing. The ums and the ands, and I take all that out. So I process. I use AI.
There's a software. So yeah, software do that.
Yeah, I use AI for that. I process all the gaps, all the pauses, I take it all out, because I want it to be, it's not just a conversation. And that's the other thing. Man, what I really didn't realize was, when we sit down in a group like this, it's way easier, because while I'm thinking of something, you're talking, and when you're on your own,
Oh man.
it's where those
I just lost because he wanted me to do it live. They wanted me to do it live at first. That was the whole Thrive Live, right?
Yep.
The first episode, I tried to do it live, and as I'm getting done, I'm like, no way. We ain't doing any more of those. I can't publish that. And I told Bryce, I can't. I'm gonna have to edit these. I can't do it live. Okay. And so I'm glad the edit's way better now.
Yeah.
But to do them live, well, we're gonna find out. Because in the field, they're going to be,
And
they're just
those rounds
those are cool.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this, but I went and did a show with this Bow Disciples, or Bow Discipline, and Bow Disciples. That's his name, James Visser. Dude's like a genius on YouTube and stuff, right? And he says, Mark, I've been watching this and watching this. He goes, the raw content, even hunt films, are kind of transitioning back to the raw, just as it is.
They are.
Let it be.
Yeah.
And these highly produced, like, you look at these Sitka films, like, they just spend all the money on color grading and all the stuff, and buying the music, and but hunting public, some of these other guys are doing just as big, if not bigger.
Yep.
raw whitetail over the shoulder,
Right.
Even action cam stuff. And so I'm not afraid of the raw stuff, you know. I'm never usually short on words anyway, so
You just got to know that it's not going to come out
it's not going to be like I'm used
scripted
to.
perfect.
And I'm going to have a different, so you haven't seen one yet, but I have a whole different graphics package for the live versions.
Okay.
In the field versions. Because that was part of our deal with Bryce was like, I was going to do 52 shows. Half of them are studio and half of them are in the field. So that's expected. We just haven't done one yet because bear season was a bust.
Okay.
Honestly,
Right.
I was out with this leg. So I've never been home so much. My wife is like,
Don't
when's
you have a
hunting
holiday?
season? When's hunting season?
So, yeah, it's getting ready to change. It sounds like
She's
that.
almost like, when's hunting season coming? I mean, she's not used. I spend 120 days a year in a tent, and
Wow.
she's just not used to seeing me like this, right? Every day, all day.
Count down the days.
She's like, "Oh, you're in my space."
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, all
Well,
right.
Mark. Well, welcome to the Mountain Dew podcast.
You've probably been getting some sound clips off of that first part, right?
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson about podcasts. I got to watch my time. You guys always trick me, right?
When
They
you
turn-
get seated,
as soon as you sit down, you better start being it because those guys always turn the cameras on. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's always on, it seems like.
Good nuggets there.
We start every show with a prayer. So
Yes,
let's pray real
absolutely.
quick, and then we'll get to it.
Good.
Father, we're so gracious for this opportunity to gather together here as friends, Lord. We're grateful to be around this table again, Lord. We just ask that you just continue to guide us and open and close doors as you see fit. We ask that you just may you just be with us, that you may use us, that we may be a lighthouse, Lord, and that if you have anything for us to say, Lord, that you may have us say it. We ask that you just be with Mark as he travels back. Lord, we love you and we give you all the glory. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Welcome in, man.
Oh man, good to be back.
Yeah. We
I always love coming down here to see you boys. Although I don't like your Boise traffic all that much.
It's pretty bad, man. It's getting worse.
You came the right way
I
this
did.
morning. Luckily.
Yeah.
Oh, when I got up at that hotel and I turned left and I looked over to I turned right and I looked to the left. It was just for as far as you can see.
Yeah.
Every
I'm like,
morning.
well, at least I'm going the right direction.
Yes. Yeah, because it prolongs trips for sure.
Yeah, everybody says it. Like, you guys are worse than LA, right? You always hear that. And I think it's true.
I've never been to LA, but it's bad here. I do know that.
Yeah.
Today, Mark, I want to get into some e-scouting with elk hunting. Obviously,
It's time.
everybody would be really mad at me if I didn't talk to you about e-scouting, obviously.
Well, if you're just now starting your e-scouting right now, if you're listening to this show, I don't know when this show's going to launch.
We're going
probably.
to launch it like a few days before season.
Oh,
This
so
is
you're going to
the-
have to
jam it in
It's gonna
last
be-
minute.
It's going to be like college day cram session, right?
Exactly what it is.
It'll be the rifle hunters,
Yeah,
the November guys.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should talk. Maybe let's talk e-scouting, but let's don't ignore some rifle stuff too, because I don't get a
Absolutely.
chance to talk about that all that much.
yeah.
Everybody always, and to be honest, I had my first ever rifle tag for elk this year.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now I've hunted rifle elk, but on a general,
Okay.
we have a general tag. Like, when I go with my son, or if I don't kill one, Wyoming, I've hunted with a gun. Montana with a gun because of the general tag,
Right.
but I've never had a dedicated rifle elk tag until this year. So
Yeah, it'll be fun, man.
and it's Idaho, so I'm going to give it a shot.
Well, let's go back just for a second because you are the guy when it comes to e-scouting. Nobody does it better anywhere. So how?
So I just keep telling everyone that, and you guys all start believing.
Well, you've got us all tricked because
You
everybody
guys all start believing.
That's right.
If you just repeat the lie enough, it becomes the truth.
What started that journey?
Oh man, so most people know my story, but I'm from Missouri. So this is oh man, I'm going to turn 60 this year and during elk season. It's pretty hard to believe.
You don't look a day over 60.
Dude, I know I look 30, but seriously, 60. I thought 50 was bad, right? But 60's hurting me. 60's on my mind. I didn't really think about it. I don't really think about birthdays all that much because I've never actually had one because I'm always hunting. And my wife told me the other day, she goes, "Now, this is your 60th. So we're going to have a party." I said, "Oh, no, we're not.
I'll have a party.
I'm going to be hunting." She goes, No, you're coming back out. I'm like, "I'm not coming out. I got this rifle tag. That's one of the reasons I went for this rifle tag. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be home, right? So anyway, October 20th, I'm going to turn 60 this year. So
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm from Missouri. So this will be my 36th year elk hunting, which is pretty crazy to me to think. I missed 1 year in those 36. And the year I missed was the year my wife said we got to move west because I was not good. I was not easy to live with that year. I owned an event company back in Missouri and just got busy, got working, and just thought that I needed to skip elk season because I had too much going on. And that was not good. I was mad. I was just mad. And so if I'm any good at this, meaning what we're talking about here is digital e-scouting, looking for elk using digital assets, right? Yeah. And when I say assets, the reason I say that nowadays is because it's not just, a lot of people think they open OnX up and that's their e-scouting, right? Well, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about using a whole host of tools. Now, OnX is one of them, and it's a good one, and it's probably one of my prime ones, but it's one tool in the toolbox, right? So using the available resources to look for features that elk are attracted to and kind of develop a strategy on how to break down country. And then that's part of, that's only 50% of it. This is where a lot of people drop the ball. They do a little bit of that work and they leave it. But the finishing touches is developing a hunt plan, a strategy that goes with all that work you did. It's one thing to drop a bunch of waypoints and get some ideas and I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. But what's your strategy when you get there? What are you going to do? What's your plan A? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? Do you have one at different elevation? Have you looked at the moisture levels before you go? All the other pieces, right? So e-scouting is 50% of the game. So you got to remember that if you're listening to the show, that's only the beginning. It's not the end product. And hunters are really bad about cutting short. They think, oh, I did enough. Or this spot is a money spot. I just did a show on the money spot, right? Everybody just like, they see a spot, they're like, this is it. And then they get there, it's not. And then their plan B, plan C is not really vetted. They didn't spend the time they should have spent on those because they invested too much in their plan A. They went all in on plan A. Yeah. And then plan A didn't work out for whatever reason. So it's really and I think I made a mistake early on talking about e-scouting. Because in my mind, e-scouting was the whole process, right? But a lot of guys interpreted that as opening up Google Earth, opening up OnX, throwing down some points, getting organized, and that was the end of it. But that's only really half of the puzzle. Anyway, the only reason I'm probably any good at this is because I'm coming from Missouri. I didn't have a choice. I had to get good with that digital, and I grew up at the perfect time. What I mean is, when I first started hunting, guys, I hate to date myself. We would go to the library. I'm not even kidding. I'm not making this up. And I would check out hundreds of topo maps. Literally hundreds. Go back. I worked at the Missouri Lions Eye Research Foundation. I worked at the Missouri Lions Eye Research Foundation as an organ and tissue bank. And my boss was really when we started hunting elk together. We'd lay these topo maps out on the table and just start pouring through them. And then we'd figure out where we're going to go. And then we'd take the maps, we'd take packing tape and start waterproofing these maps. Right. Cut all the edges off, make them where they folded. Dude, and we had a compass. And I got lost twice. One for 3 days. Because that's how we operated. Compass, topo map. So, but I'm a tech dude, right? So then Google Earth came around in 1999. And it was like the holy grail. I'm like, you mean we can look at the terrain? And so then that was phase one. And then all of a sudden the GPS units came out that just could help you navigate. Now, they only told you what direction to go in the beginning, right? Okay, you got to go 180 degrees for 2 miles. Well, they didn't tell you there's a cliff between there. It's just straight line, right? So I always threatened, and man, I got to do it on one show someday. I've got all my old GPS units. I want to bring them and show them because I don't think some people have even seen some of these I've got. I've got this with the very first one. I got this big flip open screen. It's an Eagle. The rest, it's about 9 inches long. It takes 12 AA batteries.
Goodness gracious.
And it literally, the minute you turn it on, you're watching it start to go down. And you had to be in the wide open, right? So you turn that thing on, you get it, and he was like, okay, it's 1 mile of the truck at 72 degrees. Shut the lid, turn it off. And then we walk for 2 hours, and then we turn it back on. Oh shit! Now we got to go. We got to go back that way. And, that's how we operated. And so I know I'm making this long-winded, but I got good at e-scouting because it was a necessity for me to do what I do.
You couldn't get boots on the ground.
Right? I just talked about this with Dan Staten. Everybody's always on me about why don't you support or endorse boots on the ground scouting? Because I think it's useless. Now, if you've got more time than sense, and you will not sacrifice hunting days, right, then definitely it's worth doing, right? You get in shape, you get to see the country, all the things. There's so many benefits to boots on the ground scouting. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is if you got 14 days a year, that's all you got, your wife, your job, whatever, do not sacrifice hunting days to go drive out and do boots on the ground scouting is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I would never sacrifice my hunting days for scouting days. Because the technology is so good now, and if you know what you're doing, you can do a better job digitally than you ever could do with foot. You can only do so many miles on foot.
Right.
You can do a lot of miles on Google Earth if you got to set up on the right tools. So there's two reasons I'm kind of good at this. Is one, coming from Missouri, but number two is I don't hunt the same places ever. So I am constantly developing new hunt areas. I don't go back. So now, I'd probably kill more elk if I went back to the same places and learned them, right? There's a real benefit, guys, to knowing your spot, right? There is a benefit. Don't get me wrong. That's not my style. If I had to go back to the same place every year, I'd probably cut my throat. I can't even think about it. It gives me heebie-jeebies to think about going back to the same hunting spot. I'm like, oh. My buddy, one time I took him in, and we get in this spot. I really put a lot of work in this e-scouting this spot. We get there, and it's kind of a long story, but we ran into an outfitter, and he's like, how did you find this spot? And I was like, well, I was looking at this and this. And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's a good spot. I'm like, well, I hope so. He goes, yeah. You're the first person we've ever seen in here. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. I'm like, well, it's money. He goes, oh, yeah, it's money. So we go in. It's just like I was telling you about. I mean, there were bulls bugling everywhere, hundreds of them. It was too many. We literally, the first opening day, we got into bulls, and bulls were calling our bulls off of us. Like we would literally, he was coming, everything was money, and all of a sudden, this bull starts piping up to the right, and he turns and goes. I'm like, it was over and over. That kept happening. So we had trouble killing bulls in there at first because there was too many bulls competing. Wow. So my buddy, we get all done. We had a great hunt. We get back to the trail. He goes, man, next year we're going to do that. I said, oh, what do you mean next year? He goes, yeah, when we come in here next year, we're going to. I said, oh, no, we're done. I'm never coming. He goes, next year. I'm like, there is no next year with me, right? I've never been back.
So let me ask you this. All right, so you are the e-scouting master, absolute master, unequivocal. And you go into a place, you find all the bulls that you were looking for.
Now, but you don't find the big bulls, boys. Let's just get this clarified.
But you find bulls.
I find a lot of bulls, but I have never killed a bull over 350.
But most people don't. They have trouble finding bulls. They have trouble finding things with hooves.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
but you don't take that information that you gained from that trip back to your e-scouting treasury. Use your mad skills to go back the next year.
No.
Okay.
Now what I do. Now here's what I do. I take all the data that I got. This is how I've also gotten decent at this. I mean, I'm not doing my own. I'm just telling you guys how it's happened. One, I'm from Missouri. Two, I don't hunt the same place twice, so I'm constantly doing new hunt plans. Well, the more you do, the better you get. Yeah. If you go back to the same place year after year after year, your e-scouting skills are not growing, right?
That's very true.
Mm-hmm. But you're still killing elk. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to get to that in a second. So the new spot thing, right? But what I do is when I get back, part of my e-scouting, what I teach in my course is developing a legend and a color system that will speak to you, right? We talked about, you've heard me, you've unfortunately sat through a lot of my presentations. You boys have sacrificed a lot of your life.
It's been great. My screens are no longer eaten up with red dots.
That's right. That's good. I like to hear that. Lampers Lampers hasn't subscribed to that yet. You open up his computer, it looks like a sea of red or orange, whatever But so when I'm in the field, I'll go ahead and give you a tip right here. When I'm on the hunt, every waypoint that I drop is yellow, period.
On the hunt.
Every time, all the time, no exceptions. And then when I get home, I can look where those yellow pins lined up with my other pin. I can see, whoa, okay, that bench actually did have elk all around. I've got all these yellow pins. Mm-hmm. I mark every elk that I see on the hunt. I mark every major trail that I see on the hunt. And if I see some really great rub zones or something, I'll mark those. Every wallow. Guys, every significant elk encounter, I mark. And not because I need to know it on the hunt, which is helpful. Yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. But what is really helpful is when you go back and start decompressing it, you're like, you're going to find out real quick if your e-scouting work lined up with where you actually saw the elk.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And there's been a lot of hunts I've been on, guys, they didn't line up. And I was like, okay, what's the difference? And I'm going to admit to you right now, when I wrote this course 5 years ago, I was a genius. Let's just be honest. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of a legend in my own mind, right?
It's a good place to live, right, Mark?
But what I have learned, guys, in 5 years, I'm a student of the game, just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. If you're not learning, you're dying, right? If you're not learning, you're going backwards. And same with elk hunting, dude. You can have the best gear. You can have the best. No offense. You have the best backpacks. You can have the best everything. But if you do not have the ability to put yourself where elk are, it's not going to help you a lot. Now you're going to be comfortable. You're going to feel good with that initial scent pack on your back, hiking around because you're on a camping trip. You're not on a hunting trip, right? And you always hear everybody. You just hike around with your bow, right? Which we've all done it. Yep. But what I want to do is I want to keep that to as minimal as possible.
Right.
I just closed my last show and I'm like, most people spend their entire hunt looking for elk. They don't spend much time hunting elk.
Oh, that's a great point.
Right?
Wow.
If you really think about it, of a 14-day hunt, how many hours of that 14 hunt were you actually in the mode, in kill mode, where you are stalking or calling or actually getting ready to try to harvest an elk? It's very minimal of the 14 for most guys.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is start flipping the script on that. You want to spend, now I'm not going to say equal because that's hard to do, but you want to spend more time hunting elk and less time looking for elk. And that comes down to the prep work. Yep. Most guys are doing most of their e-scouting when they're on the hunt. They're laying in their tent, they're scrolling their phone, they're kind of figuring out what they're going to do next, what they're going to do. If you're doing that, you're already behind the 8 ball a little bit. Mm-hmm. What you need to be doing is like, okay, I've got my strategy 5 days, and I know exactly what I'm going to be doing every day. Now, guys, you're going to run into elk, and that plan, what do they say?
Mike Tyson?
Your plan only survives initial contact, right? Okay. You get in the mountains, and all of a sudden you find elk here. They're not great. You pivot. But at least you've got all these options available. You've got all this work done. So you can go, if you start having trouble, you can go right back to your right?
Right.
But try to figure it out on the fly when you're dehydrated and you're hungry and you're fatigued. Your wife's texting you when you're going to come home. I talked about this mental spiral, right? Most hunts, it's funny, I just did a show on this, guys. You should check it out. It just came out. Well, it'll be 3 or 4 weeks before this.
Tell them real quick.
Tell them where to get it.
Yeah, what show you're talking about.
So Thrive Podcast, guys. I've got this new show. I hope you will check it out. It's a weekly show. By the time this podcast drops, you'll have to go back and look. I think it's episode 27 or 8.
28.
It's right there. But I talk about the mental spiral, and I had to think about this. I was like, most hunts, tell me if you guys agree or not, everybody thinks elk hunting is physically tough, which it is. Mm-hmm. but that's not what kills the hunt.
Nope.
Usually, you can be in the worst shape there is, and that's usually not the hunt killer. It's the mental.
Correct.
Absolutely.
You get tired. But that's not what reason you quit. It's because you lose your mental ability to stay in the game.
Yep.
So you have to work on that, right? You have to constantly work, and that's everybody. That's me. When we do these back-to-back long hunts, I told you I have a long season this year. I got to go back-to-back-to-back, but I can't think about the next hunt. If I do, I start mentally breaking down. I start having trouble. Yeah. It's one day at a time. Every day, just don't worry about it. And quitting early.
Yeah.
Never quit early, no matter what. There's no such thing as quitting early. And if you get that off, take that off the table, you start working on you're going to start seeing success. I think there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle that are far beyond just e-scouting, right? And
that was one that Zach brought up, right? Zach Bohe, we had him on here, and he specifically talked about not quitting early.
Yeah.
Right? That's like the number one thing that people do.
Oh,
and
always.
We've all done it.
We've all done it, right? And it's tough. To your thing, you've got in your mind, oh man, my wife wants me to do this.
I got to get back to work. All these things.
Yeah. It is tough, man. I would agree with you 100%.
What have you done, Mark, to put yourself in a position mentally to be able to push through
Let me tell you what I've done is I met Ryan Lampers and Brian Call. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, I was a pretty badass before I met those guys.
So what'd you teach
Let's
them?
just be
during
honest.
that
I
time,
taught him all
Mark?
kinds of things. Probably not good. I taught him
So that's the real reason why Lampers is so good.
That's right. Lampers owes all his success to me. But, I was a solo guy. So that's the other thing. We can get into whatever you guys want to today, but people are going to get mad when they hear me say this. But one of the things that holds you back is your hunting partners.
It's the truth. It really is.
Nobody ever hunts with anyone tougher than them usually.
Yeah.
Now, you guys may be different, but a lot of guys pick hunting partners that they know they can handle, right? Think about it for a minute.
Yeah.
They don't want to go with guys going to destroy them, right? They're nervous, right? And so we always want to, as humans, we want to pick people that we're better than, so we know we're good. But I'm saying you got to fight that urge. You got to put yourself in a position to be with guys that are going to push you to your limits, because that's what you're going to grow. That's how you're going to grow. And so solo, I was doing, 80, 90 days solo. Those are a lot of days. The longest hunt I've ever done was I did a 27-day solo hunt at one sprint, with no inReach.
Ooh.
And I felt like I was on that. What's that movie where Tom Hanks has got the volleyball?
Castaway.
Yes,
Castaway. Dude, I haven't said this very many times, but I was talking to my llamas. I had my llamas with me, and I had this one llama. He's an older guy, and he's just like my buddy, right? I literally was talking to him like a human. I'm like, Jed, what do you think we ought to do today? And then I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here, And I literally had to take a few days when I got home to decompress. I did not reinsert myself into society very well when I got off that hunt. I know that sounds weird, but 14 days is that magic. I've learned myself anyway. This is myself. Once I go past 14 or 12 or 14, things start unraveling in a row without any break.
Right.
Not unraveling, but that's when my mind is like, you've just got to work at it. Everything is telling you to get out. Everything is telling you to go home. Everything is telling you, or you've just lost all sense of reality. One of the two things is going to happen on solo. And so I just spent most of my career solo just because I had more time than my friends had. And I just didn't have from Missouri, it's not like there's elk hunting buddies everywhere.
Right.
And so I just didn't start out that way. And then so I ran into Brian and Ryan, right? And I moved to Montana. First year, met Brian at the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers Rendezvous. They stayed at our house. We did some podcasts. They did some podcasts. I'm just hanging out. I'm a nobody. I'm still a nobody, but I was even more of a nobody. And not that matters. And I met Ryan. We started talking to Scout, and he was like, really? I started telling him a few things I do, and I thought everybody did that stuff, right? And so he invited me to come to the summits to talk, and I'd talk, and he was like, Well, people were like shocked at some of the stuff I was saying, right? And not that it was revolutionary, just they don't think people thought about it that much, right? And that's kind of how it started. That's kind of that whole train got started. And so then Brian and Ryan finally, they were going on this bear hunt. It was like 17, 18 miles in, and they had done it the year before, and they had to raft out. They almost died. And they're like, we got to figure out a better way. And what about inviting Mark? He's got llamas. And I know Brian's like, yeah, but man, he's old. and I know Ryan was like, well, I know, but he's got llamas. And so I think with great hesitation, they invited me on this first hunt because I had llamas, not because they liked me. And that's how it started, hunting with those guys. And I think I was a little tougher than they thought I was going to be. I'm not saying that hunt didn't kick my butt. I'm just saying there was no quitting, right? And I learned a lot from them, and they don't quit. And just going to the last day, there's no way in any situation, in any circumstance, that Ryan Lambert's is coming out early on any hunt. Yeah. House is burning down. Now, if his kids or his wife are in trouble or something, I mean, maybe. And that would be questionable. But the other thing I learned, I talked about this in the show as well, is if Ryan says we're going on a 10-day hunt, you better look and see when the season ends. Because he says we're going for 10, but the season goes for 14. You better have enough stuff to stay for 14. I learned that the hard way. And on that hunt, right, he says, we're going to go 9 days. I'm like, okay. Well, I was out of food, so I'm 3 days in with no food. And I'm not saying anything, and they're not offering anything. And Ryan knows I'm out of food. He's not giving me any food. We get all the way to the trailhead. We get done with the hunt. We get back to the trail. He comes over. He says, Mark, I got some bars in the truck.
Nice.
I'm like, Lambert's? I got bars in my truck. I said, I don't need the bars now. I needed the bars 2 days ago. And but the whole point of that is surround yourself with people that make you better.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to become a way better hunter.
That's in life, though.
Yeah, it's in life and anything.
Absolutely.
With business, right? Entrepreneurs.
100%.
I love talking to entrepreneurs because I learn things from everybody, right? And the same with hunting. But what happens, and this, guys, there's nothing wrong with this. Do not take this the wrong way, but we hunt with our father-in-laws. Mm-hmm. We hunt with our brothers, our family. And, guys, there's a lot. Do not take this the wrong way. There's a lot of amazing reasons to do that. Who cares about the hunt, right? It's more about family, and that's way more important, guys. But I'm just saying, sometimes we set ourselves up by who we choose to hunt with, and that helps you or doesn't. Right. And I look at some of the best hunters out there that I think are some of the best Western hunters out there. A lot of them are solo. Or a lot of them are hunting with guys that are like, look at Brian Barney. He hunts with a couple of dudes like Dan Picard. Yeah. I mean, total badasses. That's it. He only hunts with badasses, right? He ain't hunting with Mark Livesay. I don't think I'd ever hunt with Brian Barney. Even if he asked me, I'd be afraid. But, that's what makes him better. Mm-hmm. So, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a hard message for people to hear, but it's true.
It is. It's the truth, and that's the thing. I'm old, guys. I'm 60. Oh, I hate to say it, but it's true. I'm a truth teller. Some people don't like to hear it, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, some people need to hear it, though.
Well, it may not be the truth. It's my truth. This is the way I approach it, right? It's my way, and my way is definitely not the best way, right? It's just my way. And I think that anything I have to offer, you just take a little bit of great salt. Like, you listen to me and maybe you take 10% of what I say and apply it to it. Don't take me for... But if you want to become... Dan Staten said it best. I was on a podcast with Dan Staten. I love Dan. There's nobody I know that's more intense than that dude.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't like Dan because they can't handle Dan. And when I first met him, I almost couldn't handle him. He's like the Energizer Bunny on steroids, right? But that dude, he says things that are just so true, like the separation is in the preparation, right? I say that all the time, but that's not my quote. That's his quote. Well, I don't know if it's his. He got it somewhere. But he said something on this podcast. He said, you want to become a better elk hunter? Hunt new spots. That's how you become a better elk hunter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what he said was, I didn't say you want to kill more elk. I said, you want to become a better elk hunter, all around, well-rounded elk hunter. You continually hunt new spots. Because going back to the same old place where you know the bulls are in the drain, that you're going to become a better killer maybe. You're going to have more success maybe statistically.
Yeah.
But you're not going to become a better elk hunter in the breaks countries, in the flat country, in the open country, in the timber country, because you're hunting the same type of country.
Right.
So you're just not going to become a well-rounded, all encompassing, all habitat elk hunter, I guess I should say. And he said that, and I was like, dude, you're right. And, and that's my philosophy.
It sounds like that's what you do.
That's exactly what, but I wasn't thinking like that. I never thought that hunting new spots would make me a better e-scouter.
Right.
Because, guys, I'm not the best elk hunter. I say it all the time. I am not the best elk hunter. For some reason, I kill a lot of bulls, but I can't kill giants. It really kind of makes me mad. I have guys take my class. This is what really, you want to get what really fires me up?
We want to hear
guys, first year, take my class. They just live and breathe it, right? They go through it 2 or 3 times. Then they go out and kill like a 380 bull, and they send me a picture. And I'm like, what the? Mark, this bull was right where you said he's going to be. I'm like, well, how come he's not right where I think he's going to be? Maybe I need to retake my own course, right? But these guys, they go out and kill these megas, and I just don't. Now, originally, I just like to kill elk. So originally, I was just shooting every bull that came. The first bull came by, right? Mm-hmm. Not first bull, but I never really tried to kill. I'm from Missouri, dude. You can't be picky.
Yeah.
And I'm in new spots. I mean, all the things are against me, right?
Yep.
But since I moved here, I will admit, I have gotten I've tried to kill bigger bulls. I've killed a couple nice ones, but I just can't break the 350 mark. But maybe this year.
There you go.
But
I think it might be the year, Mark.
I love the pursuit of it, guys.
I don't know. He may have to go back to an old spot.
And,
there you go, Joe. You got a couple old pins there where they got to be getting really big by now.
I mean, come on.
Feel free to share.
If I would go back to a couple places I've been, like the spot I was telling you, there's a few places I've been that I should go back to, and I might. I'll probably take my son back. So I've got all these spots. I'll take him back.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not against going back to the same spots, but I'm 60. My bucket list, my checklist is long, and all the places and all the states and all the areas I want to go, it's almost never ending. And so when I start running out of places to go, maybe I'll revisit some old hunts. But at this point,
new ground is.
Guys, and this is what blows people. This is my dream. Okay, this has happened to me a bunch of times, and this is what floats my boat. I drive to Trailhead A in the dark with my llamas. Me, solo, 6 llamas. Roll in. I'm looking it on. I got my road all planned. I know how long it's going to take me to get there. I've got it all mapped. Everything's traced. Every turn, everything. I never backed my trailer up. I get to the trailhead exactly when I thought I was going to get there. Okay, that's a win number 1. 4 a.m, boom, I got 3 hours of hike. Go up to 9,000 feet. I climb up through the timber. The trail is exactly like I thought it was going to be. There's no deadfall on the trail. I searched it on Google. I felt like I know. I got the map trail. I know how far it is. I know what the profile is. I know every steep spot. I got all of it planned out. I get to Camp 1. And it's just breaking daylight, and the bulls are bugling already. And I tie my llamas up, and I go out and I kill a bull on opening day. That is the dream for me. Never been there before, never seen it. When the sun comes up, it's the first time I've ever seen the country, and here's a bull right where I thought he was going to be, on bench A. Yep. He's right below it, and the thermals are what I thought they were doing. When I planned it out, I looked at the terrain, and I thought, man, this is pretty steep, so the thermals are going to stay good till 10 a.m., and it's on the north side and everything. I'm going to be able to approach from the bottom. I'm just giving you guys some scenarios. And it happens, and there's a bull there, and he's a 280, and I kill him.
He's getting an arrow.
And I'm like, life is good.
Yeah. That really is a hard feeling to beat. Because I feel like as I have started to evolve as a hunter, like when you can go back and look when you finish that hunt and it's like, oh yeah, my camp pin was here, that where I thought that bear was going to be or where that bull was going to be, literally within 70 yards on my pin is another critter. And then I ended up killing an animal there. That feeling,
it floats your boat. It just does. But that new spot, right? It's like getting a new car, right? I don't know. I pursue it. It's just something I love to do. A lot of guys are scared to do it. I get it. It's scary. I've also had the opposite happen. I've got there a few times. Maybe I didn't do the work I should have. Didn't look at the roads. Didn't look at this as well as I should have. And it didn't turn out like I thought it was going to be, right? It was a little bit of a bummer. Or maybe they got there and there was 9 trucks parked there, right? But I've learned. Yeah. I stay away from dead ends. I got all these rules that are in my door, and I don't always follow those rules. But if I'm going to break the rules, like if I'm going to go to a dead end, meaning like a dead end trailhead, I have to know exactly what I'm doing to do that. Yeah. Because dead ends are hunter magnets. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you get any tip out of this show, anything dead end is a hunter magnet. How many times have you guys drove 50 miles on a gravel road, never saw a hunter, and you get to the end, there's 10 trucks?
Man, that's a gold nugget.
Right?
People don't.
But there was no trucks parked along the road the whole way there, hardly.
Yep.
Bear hunting's bad about that. You get to the end and there's a bunch of dudes parked, right?
Yep.
Because they just feel like they got to go to that dead end. Yep. It's something human nature. And now, I'm not saying I won't do it. And we've hunted a lot of dead ends. But I got to know, okay, we're going to get off trail. Most people are going to do this. I almost spend as much time figuring out where hunters are going to go as where the elk are going to be.
Makes sense.
I really analyze pressure. I look at trails. How clear do they look from space? Can I see that brown all the way through, or can I barely pick it up? That tells me a lot about, are there 2 trails? Yeah. Are there multiple trails? That's telling me livestock versus horses. I'm looking at, that tells me, by the time I get there, I'm rarely surprised with the pressure anymore. Like I've looked at the trailhead every year in Google Earth. How many cars are parked there? And every month of September and August, is there a lot of recreational? Are people hiking in the summer? What types of cars? Are there horse trailers there? Are there llama trailers? Are there smaller trailers there? Is there no trailers there? What kinds of cars? Is there actually a car there, or are they all trucks? That tells me a lot about how tough the road is. If I see a Subaru there, I'm like, well, that road must be pretty good shape, so I can get my llama trailer. Right. These are all things that if you spend the time, you learn. And when you get there, you're not surprised. You're not as surprised. Because, guys, there's nothing worse than getting somewhere and being 20 cars there, right? When you didn't think there was going to be 20 cars.
And you're doing all this on Google Earth
all
Pro.
Before the hunt. Never on the... How can you e-scout an area that for September? You go in June, there's nobody there.
Correct.
But you go back in September and there's 50 cars, right? Now, 2 scenarios. If you drive to the end of the road and there's 20 cars there and you were expecting to see 20 cars, your mind is whole different. You're like, okay, game on. My plan's good. Yep. I plan to hunt away from right? Yeah. It's the shock that kills us, right? It's the, how many times you make a turn, right?
So demoralizing.
And there's a car park. Yeah. It's so demoralizing, right? Mm-hmm. Well, then what does that do? Now it's got your mental, you're off, you're out of your game already. Your mindset is you're already behind because you're worried about the dudes. You don't even know anything about them. You don't know if they're a quarter mile down the trail or 8 miles down the trail. Now you can look at the can, they say if you see a bunch of pride stickers on the back bumper or something, you can make an assumption or two.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were talking about earlier too before we started recording, Mark. That pressure, you're utilizing that in your favor.
Yes.
That you might be not hunting as deep because of that.
Or off trail.
Exactly.
Guys, when I go in a lot of pressure, I try to I'm off the trail. Yeah. I plan all my routes off the trail. Remember I told you I said to become a better elk hunter, you need to hunt new spots, right? To be a better elk hunter. Remember, that's not more success.
Right. Yep.
But if you want to encounter more elk, get off the freaking trail. Hunters, guys, will not get off that trail. Right. Now, there's some that will, but those are killers.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing elk woods with killers. They're quiet. They watch the wind. Yep. They're like a predator. They're not going to cause you any. You can have 20 dudes in there, and they're not going to do anything to your hunt. The guys that are calling from upwind and walking the trail, bugling all down the trail, driving the roads, pulling over, turning their car off, bugling from the roads. Like, there's nothing wrong with those tactics, right? But the elk get wise to that stuff real quick, right? And you want to start finding more elk, get off the trail, which is not comfortable for people. You're going to rely on your navigation. It's unsettling. So how many times have you had a guys tell you, like, they're watching the watch, they're deep in a little bit, and they're on a glassing spot, and they're looking for some elk, and they're let's say they're in Grizz country, and they're a mile from the trail. Let's say they're a mile off the trail in this beautiful glassing spot overlooking this beautiful meadow. Elk are going to come out anytime. And they're like, well, it's 5 o'clock. We better get going because I want to make sure we get to that trail before dark. That is the bigger hunt killer of just about anything you can do. Yeah. Getting to a glassing spot after daylight and leaving before dark. That's another tip.
Yeah.
If you're not getting to your spots before daylight and you're leaving before dark, you're already losing the game.
Right.
And I'm serious about that. That 400-inch bull comes out 15 minutes before dark, and there you got him.
Yeah.
Guys, you're not, and they're like, well, I can't do anything 15 minutes. I know, but you know he's there.
He's there, yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Correct.
All you have to know to kill an elk is where they're at. Then you make a strategy to get on them.
Yeah.
You're not always going to march down there from a glassing spot. A lot of guys are like, well, we don't have time to get down there, so let's head to camp. It's a mistake for lots of reasons. Number one, in a high-pressure zone, the elk don't bugle many times until after dark, sometimes. Number two, they don't show themselves a lot of times until the last minute. They're still in that transition zone. They're especially a big meadow. They're moving towards the meadows. They're in these transition zones, and then right at dark, they might bust into the open enough for you to get your eyes on them. Yeah. And that's all you need. But if you're gone,
you never know.
And so I spend so much time. That's right. Mm-hmm. I spend so much time in my course trying to beat into hunters' heads that every glassing spot that you are developing that is a, quote, primary spot where you really think is a money spot, you need to have the route pre-planned to that spot. What is the elevation change? Is it off trail? How many hours is it going to take you to get there? And that's what time you get up in the morning. So many hunters say, what time do you, I do this all the time, I ask guys, what time do you guys get up to hunt? Well, we get up at 5:30. I'm like, okay, what if the spot is this? Well, 5:30. You get up according to where you're going, not according to just whatever time you think it's time to get up.
Right.
If your glass spot's 3 hours away, then you need to be there 4 hours. You need to be sitting on that spot an hour before. I cannot tell you the benefit of being on a glassing spot an hour before daylight.
All right. You learn
it's hard. Most hunters will not do it off trail, particularly in grizzly country. No way. 90% will not do it. 90%. But if you do it, you're winning the game. You're going to hear elk bugling. You're going to be dry. You're all sweaty. You're freezing, right? Well, by the time daylight comes up, you've dried off. You've been able to sit there for a little bit. Everything's quieted down, and you're ready to go. Glass all set up. Your tripod's all set up. You're scanning the edge environments right at daylight. And versus huffing up, you're 30 minutes late. The elk have already moved in the timber. You set up there all day. You're like, man, there's no elk.
Yeah.
Well, they just moved in right before you got there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Mark. Back to your llamas.
Yeah.
Do you feel they've made you a better hunter? Here's the reason why I ask it. Because I think back when I had horses, I prepared so much more because I had livestock, where today it's just like, oh, I can go.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a true statement?
Well, you had horses. That was your first.
I knew that was coming.
That's your first problem. Horses are management. Horses equal management. Now, there's some pretty incredible horses. I'm just kidding. But they are a handful.
Yeah.
You're managing horses more than you're hunting. I'm just going to be honest with you. Most hunters that I know that hunt with horses are dealing, at least 50% is dealing with the horse. Getting them water, getting them this, getting them highline, getting them, right? Packing them up in the morning, getting up a little extra early because you can't leave them at camp. Now, some really, really good horses can be highlined at camp by themselves, right? But sometimes some of these horses got to go with you every day. I don't like that. That's something I don't like. Same with goats. That's why I kind of like the idea of goats. But the reality is they're not my style. I want to go in, stake them out, don't worry about them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, leave them staked out. So your question, I don't think llamas have made me a better hunter. In some ways, I think they've hurt me a little bit because I'm too comfortable now, right? I'm living large back there with these llamas. I've got enough llamas now. When I hunt solo, I take 5 or 6. That's crazy.
So
I mean, I'm sleeping in an 8-man TV solo. My llamas come in the TV. I mean, I got tables and chairs. I'm hanging out. Got good food. Never run out of food. I pack my own water. I got enough llamas now. I don't even go get water anymore. I just load 20 gallons on my llamas and take it in. I don't even got to worry about where I camp anymore, right? With 6 llamas, with me by myself, I can carry enough water for the llamas and me for 5 days.
Wow.
Without even having to look for water. So that opens up a whole new ball game for me. But I don't know that they've made me a better hunter, but here's what has happened. I was 50. When I got llamas, I was 50. I moved from Missouri. I had been hunting 30 to 45 days a year. I knew that I was going to double that coming. I knew I was going to be 100 days a year. So, and I was 50. And I knew I was going to do back-to-back 10-day hunts, right? There's no way I could do it with a backpack. I mean, the initial scent pack's pretty dang good. But I could not do 60 days in a row with 70 pounds on my back. And packing animals.
Right.
Not at 50. Not even at 25, guys. Let's just be honest.
That's ridiculous.
So what the llamas have allowed me to do is these back-to-backs. Is like, I can literally roll from trailhead A to trailhead B 10 days, 14 days later, pretty refreshed, pretty good, because I'm carrying maybe 25, 30 on my normal, and the llamas are carrying everything else.
Well, those luxuries have got to help you mentally, too.
That's the other thing, too. I don't, I've got tarps. If it rains, I'm not in a little tiny one-man tent, just weathering. I've got my Starlink now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm packing the Starlink. I've got Renogy. I got a battery pack to run my Starlink for 7-8 hours.
Yeah.
So you're roughing it.
I'm roughing it. Right? So I packed my son in. Quick story to my son. He loves football, loves it. The Chiefs are playing. It was his birthday. So my birthday's the 20th. His is the 21st.
Oh, cool.
So we're on a deer hunt. We're packed in, and we're missing the game. And it was his birthday. So I packed in a birthday cake in a container with the llamas. He didn't know about it. So I whip out this full cake.
He's got a picture packed
10 miles back, right? And he's like, oh, man, cool. And I'm like, hey, it's about time for the game. It was getting dark, and we were back at the camp, and he goes, game? I'm like, yeah, we're going to watch the game. He's like, what? So I pulled that Starlink out, hooked it all up, and we watched the football game. Man, he was like,
that's awesome.
This is... So I guess I just ruined everybody's image of me, but
yeah, but that's
your dad of the year, though, man. That was pretty awesome.
So
never gonna forget that. Yeah.
Guys, I like to go at it hard, but I also like to keep going.
Yeah,
and I'm at the age now that for me to do, I'm getting ready. One of my biggest seasons is coming up, and I've got a leg issue. Right, I've been talking about it enough. We don't need to get it, but I've got I had a serious leg injury this year, and I feel pretty good, but I'm not 100%. And I've got back to back to back to back 4 hunts in a row. And if I didn't have my llamas, there's no way I could pull this off.
Yeah.
There's literally no way. And I may not be able to pull it off anyway, but I'm going to give it everything I got.
Yeah.
And so I love the backpack hunting. Guys that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, man, the llamas they're great, and I love them. I love having them, but the reality is they're super expensive to buy now. The demand is so ridiculous. I don't know what's going on, but they're so expensive. And I don't know. I love the backpack style, and if I was doing 1 hunt a year, and 14 days, and that's what I was doing. And I would probably just still be doing backpack, but the back-to-back stuff is what the longest shine.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
And they're low maintenance. That's what I was getting to. Horses, a little more maintenance. Goats, a little more maintenance. Goats don't like water. They don't like to be rained on, and they can't be tied up. They can, but they sound like you might as well turn the Fox Pro Predator call on. I mean, you can envision it. You're in grizzly country. You got 10 you got 10 goats. You got your Lampers. Okay, Lampers got these crazy goats. He rolls in there, stakes them out. They start, and next thing you know, they're all eaten. On the other hand, my llamas are laying there dead quiet, not even moving. They very rarely even move around. They just relax and they just lay there and they just do nothing for 2 weeks. I give them a little water every now and then. They drink about every 3 or 4 days, and I move them around with a dog stake to some new grass. If they get tangled up, they just lay there. They don't fight it. Yeah, they're
Are llamas the ones that spit on you, or is that an alpaca?
See, you're just ruining this podcast.
Camelids. Period.
Llamas don't typically spit on people. When people get spit on, it's because 2 llamas are kind of working it out. That's how they work each other out. So there's a couple cases where people get spit on. One is they get in between a couple llamas when you're trying to feed them, or you do something's going on, and one llama's spitting at another llama, and you think you got it because whatever, right? Or you've got a humanized llama, meaning if you spend too much time with your llamas and you get them really dog style, like where they start thinking of you as a llama. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple conditions. One's called berserk in the llama world, where llamas can actually turn on you and kill you, basically. I mean, they're very capable of killing humans. It's happened. And it's called berserk, where they kind of just, they think you're a llama and they want to fight you. And so, there's a fine line between llamas, you being the kind of the manager of the llamas and being one of the llamas. So llamas are really antisocial for the most part, but I've got one right now. This guy thinks he's a dog. He's a 1-year-old. I traded for him, and the people that had him must have just handled him every day. He comes up. He wants to be hugged. He loves having his head rubbed, which no llama likes that. I've never seen a llama let you touch their ears. This llama, you pet him like a dog. As cool as that is, so he's our birthday llama. He goes to parties.
Okay.
He goes to church camps. He goes everywhere, right? Because everybody loves him. But I'm worried.
Yeah. The
older he gets, he might start thinking of you as, right now at 1-year-old, he's easy to handle. But as he gets a little bigger, and I don't know what's going to happen with him. We'll see. But there's a fine line. Like bottle-fed llamas, we're kind of getting on. Llamas that are bottle-fed, like something happens to their mom, they have a tendency to turn as well.
Sense.
Yeah.
And your llamas are what, 300 pounds, 250?
Well, that's a Craigslist llama. That's yeah, I mean, maybe the average llama, but most of my llamas are in the 350 to 440 range. I've got a big guy right now. He's about 440. He'll pack 120, 150 pounds all day, every day.
I think I'll get spit on, to be honest. I'm okay with it.
That's crazy.
There's very few llamas that can do that. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty blessed. So I know Bo Beatty is a good friend of mine. He got me in the llamas, and I had this amazing opportunity to breed a lot of my females that I got to some of his. So my genetic lines are not even close as good as his, but they're pretty dang good. Like the average llama baby is around 25 pounds, somewhere around that, born. Mine are around 40.
Wow.
They're just monsters.
Wow.
And now I've got some little llamas too, but for the most part, I got 6 1-year-olds right now that are all pushing right at 200 pounds, and they're 1-year-old. And so llamas typically grow until about 4 to 5. Now they start slowing down as they get to that, but they just continually grow until they're about 4 or 5. You can start packing them about 3 to 4. But a commercial quality llama should be able to carry, 70 pounds, 10 to 13 miles a day, 365 days a year. That's kind of how you judge a commercial ready llama. And that's what I want. I want llamas that can do that kind of work. And if they can't do that kind of work, I kind of move them on to someone that doesn't need them as much as I do. So
before we close this thing, Mark, I do have one more e-scouting question for you, because you talk about planning everything out, like you've got everything dialed. What is the thing that makes you, or the things that make you divert from that and go to your plan B? Like, when do you actually pull that plug and be like, okay, I have to go to plan B?
Good question. Very good question. Let me answer that a little bit differently. So let's start with that plan A, B, C, D. Try not to give, when you start working on your hunt plans, guys, and you start working on areas, okay? Let's be clear first what we're talking about with areas. When you're, say, plan A, and you're hiking into camp, you got 3 camp spots that you're thinking about basing out of and hunting this area, right? Moving from one camp to another camp, or hiking 5 more miles down the trail, or that's not a new hunt plan. That's not a new hunt area, sorry. That's an extension of your current hunt area, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, don't call that plan B.
Right.
When I say a hunt area, I mean you got to relocate. Like, you got to go back to the trailhead usually. Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't hike far enough, or if in the right situation, I would not call a plan B further down the trail, so to speak. But in most cases, what I'm talking about is going back to the rig, reload, and moving a different mountain range, moving a different part of the unit, across the state, whatever. I'm talking about a relocation, maybe 6, 7 miles away, 8 miles, whatever it is, 20 miles, 50 miles, but a totally new habitat environment, right? That's what I mean by plan A, B. So let's get that straight first. So your question was, when do you bail on plan A? Quick. I'm just going to be honest with you. Yeah. You hike in. If you get to your glassing spot before daylight, you stay till dark. You do 2 or 3 days of glassing. You call. If you're in a spot, you're calling. You're hiking 10 miles a day. You're calling in the morning. You're calling in the evening. You're getting nothing. You're seeing no sign, no fresh sign, meaning fresh sign. You're seeing no fresh rubs. You're seeing no rut activity. You're seeing no wallows. No freshly used wallows. 3 days, and I'm out. Could you turn up elk there? Yes, but guys, here's the reality. Now, rifle hunting, maybe not. We never did get into rifle hunting, but rifle hunting is a little different. Elk will sometimes move into an area because of pressure, because they get shot at or whatever, and the whole herd moves. Or they're migrating, right? They migrate in. Snow comes, they move, whatever. But with archery season, guys, unless there's extreme pressure, elk don't move around 10 miles. They won't relocate zip codes like that very often. Okay. So a lot of guys are like, well, they'll be here. Maybe. During archery season, I wouldn't bank on it personally. Now, I know guys that go to the same spots every year, right? Yep. They just hunt it. If there's elk there, they kill elk. If there's no elk there, that's just it. They don't get an elk that year. That's not the way I operate. Right. So I go in, I give it 3 days.
And this is on a 10-day hunt.
10 day, 7 day. I might even go 2 days on a 7 day. Okay. If I only got 7 days. So the length of your hunt maybe determines how, guys, there's I don't want to give you a number because it depends on how big a hunt area you got. Depends on what options you got. If you've got your hunt plan, you got, okay, I've got spot in hunt area A, I've got spot 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I make my trap line, I hit the spots that I wanted to hit, and I can't turn up what I need to see. Mm-hmm. It's time to pull the plug. Mm-hmm. But here's the key. Most guys will not pull the plug. And the reason they won't is because they're too mentally invested in that spot. Right. It's their money spot, right? They thought it was going to do it. And their plan B, they don't even know how they're going to drive over there for sure. They got to look at their map. They don't know how long it's going to take them. They don't know where they're going to camp. They do not have it vetted. So let me give you the other scenario. So let's say you're in plan A and you're 3 days in and it's just not working out. But you look at your hunt plan, you're like, okay, my hunt plan B is 20 miles down the road. It's going to take me 3 hours to get out. The driving directions tells me at 30 miles an hour, it's going to take me 45 minutes to get there. Oh, Camp A is 4 miles in. It's going to take me 3.5 hours to get there. It's 2,000 feet elevated. I could be there by 3 o'clock. I could be on my glassing spot with 2 hours a day. Okay, great. Let's make a move. That's a whole different scenario, guys.
Right.
Your mind just got excited about making the move, right?
Yeah.
But when you are sitting there and you're like, you have none of that information, you're like, I'm just going to stay.
Yeah.
I only got 2 days. Let me give you, this is going to sound familiar to a lot of you guys listening. How many times has this happened to you? You're on a hunt. Oh man, we only got 3 days left, 2 days left. We don't got time to make a move. Let's work it out here. Let's just keep grinding it. We'll turn something up. Maybe.
Yeah. Or
you haven't
let's go home.
Exactly.
That's
or
what a lot of guys
you're like,
say.
you know what? It just ain't working out this year.
It's hot.
I'm going to ask you a question. How many hunts have you got home that you quit early? And don't tell me you have never done it, because we all have. And you thought that was a good idea that you quit early.
Never.
That's right.
It's instant
Guys,
regret
it's
when you get the truck.
100%.
Right.
It's 100% every time.
Yep.
When you get home, you're like, why did I quit early? That was stupid.
Yeah, every time.
I waited 365 days. Even if it's camping.
Right.
At that point, even if it's just hiking around getting fitter, even if it's just working on your navigation, your bushcraft, and just exploring some country, and you're banking knowledge, you're gaining experience. Screw the elk hunting. Mm-hmm. Now, it'd be nice if you turn up an elk, but you never, I hope if you're getting anything out of this podcast, you never, ever, ever go home early, no matter what, unless something's on fire.
Yeah.
Or your wife's getting ready, texting you, she wants to divorce you. Guys, let's be real. There's things that you do have to go home for, but being a wimp is not one of them.
Right.
And I talked about this in my show, if you burn that bridge before you go, not on the hunt, you take that off the table, no matter what. Yep. Here's another scenario. How many times has it happened? Like, you work for Initial Ascent, and your bosses are just slave drivers. And you're like, you got to be there. You got to be there Monday morning, 8 a.m., or Dennis is going to be, you're going to be fired. Well, you should just get fired. No, I'm just kidding. But how many times has this happened to you? Like, you feel like your deadline is Monday, 8 a.m., you got to be home. You got to be driven home, everything, right? And you've got a day and a half left, and you start thinking, you're going to laugh when I tell you this, I think. If I killed an elk right now, we couldn't get it out in time. We might as well just quit.
Mm-hmm.
How many times that crossed your mind? That's been on my mind more than I want to admit in my early days. You're like, I don't have enough time to kill an elk and pack it out and be where I need to be. Guys, trust me. Life, you'll work it out.
Correct.
Your bosses, your family, your things, they will understand. You haven't killed an elk for 5 years. If you kill an elk and you're late getting home they're going to be happy for you.
And you've probably got some buddies that you can.
And you can do something, right? You can do something. Call you now. Yep. I don't know if you got Dennis and Joe as a friend, maybe not, but So here's the thing. I'm going to leave you with this. If Lampers ever calls you in September on your phone, you see a caller ID, don't ever answer the phone. You never answer the phone from Lambert's in September, because he only wants one thing.
Yeah. Let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah, I knew right where this
is. Answer the phone.
I'm in Boston. I am sitting at a New England Patriots game, and Ryan Lampers texts me.
In September.
Oh,
yeah.
Big bull down.
Yeah, I need help.
And
What are you doing?
Yeah. And so what do I tell Ryan Lampers?
Do you know what
we're catching a flight out in the morning, and I will be there tomorrow night.
You know what the issue was, though, Dennis, right? You were at a football game in September. September's for one.
Yeah, what are you doing?
That was my first mistake.
You didn't have your priorities straight right off the bat.
So me and Trey, we drove. As soon as I got off the plane, I went and picked him up. We drove, got there about midnight or 1 in the morning to where Ryan
man.
Lampers was camping. He was fast asleep and all that. And
Well, you guys got lost.
well, no, we didn't get lost.
couldn't
We
get there or
took a
something?
road because I didn't do my e-scouting.
You didn't do your e-scouting.
We took a road that completely was bouldered out
Yeah.
and had to go 90 miles around the other way.
man.
But anyway, yeah, we got that call. And,
so sad. Yeah, never. So Ryan will never. Now I'm surprised he said. Did he say he needed pack help? No, he didn't.
well, I had already
just-
offered at
Okay.
the Western Hunting Summit. I said, I've got a tag in the same unit. If you need help, let me know. Well, he's out there solo. I didn't know he killed it like 15 miles back.
So here's the
Should've
thing.
assumed.
This is a good life lesson. Lampers will never ask you in the text to come and help me pack a bull out because that's evidence that he just left documented evidence that he needed help. So he won't do that. What he'll do is he'll text you to say things like, "Hey, Livesay, what are you doing right now?" I was in the breaks a couple of years, this last year. And he texted me, "What are you doing right now?" "I'm not packing help." I'm sitting here glass and I got a big bull right here in front of me. "Oh, really? Yeah. How big is he?" He goes, "Why don't you have your location turned?" So there's two things.
Oh,
Never text Lampers with your location turned on your inReach either. Because the next thing you know, he's moving in on your spot. Like within minutes, he's there. So he'll text you things like, "So, hey, what are you doing?" That's a telltale. That's I got a bull down and I need, you just say things like, well, you immediately say something that gets you out of the, you made a mistake. Or if the phone rings, if he actually calls you, you definitely don't answer. Because he will definitely ask you to help. And then you're on the spot, like on the phone, like, no. If he ever calls me in September, I'm never picking the phone up.
Oh, I love it. Well, Mark, we close every show with some rapid fire. But
Yeah.
before Dennis gets to that, I'm going to pay some bills real quick. A 5-star review that was left by James Byers. Hopefully I'm saying that last name right. Says, "Just found this podcast. Appreciate the info, but love the faith side of it as well. Thanks for living your faith and providing great info about the mountains. Prepping to lead a group of guys on a mountain trip in September, and the gear episode was a great info podcast to share with them." So, James, thanks for sharing that. The rest of you, make sure you leave a 5-star review, and maybe we'll read it out on the show.
Well, I'm
Dennis?
going to say that too before you guys do anything. I appreciate the fact that you guys get out, you put yourselves out there with your faith and start the show with a prayer, and I love it. I love that. I think that we need more of that.
Yeah.
So I
Well, I agree
personally,
with you.
I appreciate that.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
That's right,
That's
bro.
the truth.
So.
Okay, shoot.
Okay, now these are going to be, X or Y.
I
And you
can't
just-
elaborate.
You can't elaborate.
Like my normal.
Now you may have to go back at the end and elaborate on a couple because I'm gonna hammer you with a couple. Okay, hunt morning or hunt evening?
Evening.
Free bird or stairway to heaven?
Free bird.
Llamas or goats?
We already answered that.
Okay, from your triathlon days, board shorts or Speedo?
Speedo all the way.
I'm going to let them settle on that
Leopard
visual
Speedo.
just for a second. Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Bow or rifle?
Both.
Oprah or Dr. Phil?
Oh, man.
That's another
you-
story for another day.
Dude,
I can't believe he
we cannot go down that road. Dr. Phil.
And we'll end with that note.
Oh, Mark.
Where
My
can
wife will kill
Where can people?
me
Where can?
if I do that in public.
That is on somewhere. That is on a podcast somewhere.
It is. You might have to do some research to find that one. Where can people find the TreeLine Pursuits?
Okay, so I just I'm glad you asked me that. I just reorganized this year because I was kind of had a bunch of different ways to get. So TreeLineAcademy.net. All my vodcast shows are archived there. All my this podcast will be archived there, so you can get to it quicker once you guys release. All the podcasts I've ever been on are there. All my vodcasts are there. All my course stuff that I have, bears and elk, is all there. Llama rentals. Everything is there. TreeLineAcademy.net. And on Instagram, TreeLine_pursuits. And it's pretty easy.
And the hunting toolkits, they got to check them out while they're...
Guys, the toolkit. So whether you want to take my course or not, that's great, right? Whether you think you get benefit from it, whatever.
You will.
But I'm telling you guys, and I'm not just trying to tell you, I put 10 years of work into these toolkits. And these are 100% game changers. They're so game changing that they come with a 100%, no questions guarantee. You guys try them. If they don't even live up to a third of the hype I'm giving you, I will give your money back, and I'll let you keep the toolkits. They're that powerful. I just recently upgraded. I got 3 topo layers in there now. I got slope shading in there now. I got moisture analysis in there. They're not a replacement for your hunt application. They're not.
Right.
Google Earth doesn't go in the field. It's strictly an e-scouting tool, right? But where it's powerful is side by side with your hunt app. You get 2 screens. You set yourself up with 2 screens. If you're going to be a master e-scouter, you got to have at least 2 screens. See, you're already ready to go right there. You got 2 screens. You got your whatever. You got OnX, Go Hunt, whatever, and you got Google Earth on the other. And that is a powerful combination when you're planning hunts. So the toolkits are very powerful. That's all I can say. I mean, they're cheap, probably too cheap, and they're going to change the way that you approach hunt planning. I guarantee it.
Awesome. Yeah, love it.
Guarantee
Mark,
it.
Thanks for coming on the Mountain Dude podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. You guys,
Thank you.
you made me drive 10 hours to do a podcast. You guys are the farthest I've ever driven for a podcast. So I hope you guys realize how important you are to me.
We appreciate that big time.
Yeah, we got to get you to sign that table. Until next time, keep your eyes on the summit. This is the Mountain Dude Podcast, signing off.